Hey everybody, John from Jitsu. A crucial aspect of movement, okay, perhaps the most important part, is your pelvis, okay? A lot of people refer to your pelvis, your hips. And your hips is a very, very general term, okay? And we can get a little bit more specific with that and think about pelvic mobility. Now, you've probably heard this from so many different places in Jiu-Jitsu. Your hips are everything, okay? And if your hips are free, your Jiu-Jitsu will be free, your body will be free. If your hips are rigid and stiff, okay, the rest of your body is going to be stiff as well. So, a couple of things, a couple little exercises to play with. One thing that's going to happen is you're going to just feel your weight, okay, balanced over both of your feet, okay? So now what's going to happen is I'm going to bring my hips to the right, forwards, left, and back. Imagine your hip joints, okay, which is where your pelvis and your femur meet, okay, right? These two things in here, okay, they're going to be making circles around your ankles. Something for you to think about there. You can go in one direction here, you can come in the other direction, and you're really tracing your weight. So when my hips come to this way, I do feel a lot more weight coming onto the left leg, but I don't want to disconnect on my right. I don't want to be doing this, okay? So always just feeling good stability in your body, connected through the ground, and also creating very nice movement with your hips. Come in the other direction again. Another thing you can do, guys, is you come onto one foot, okay, this leg's gonna come up, and it's kind of like you're jumping over a gate, okay, up and around. I always feel clicks when I do this, and it makes me just want to do it more and more and more, because clicks are nice when they come out. It's not hurting, okay, I just feel a whole bunch of clicks and cracks, meaning that a lot of the time it's like the joint salts. The joint salts are there in your joints, and now what you're doing is you're just kind of opening them out. When you move your joints, you create what's called synovial fluid, okay? And that's it's almost like you're oiling them up. And that's really nice as a way to prevent arthritis, okay? A way to just really maintain and keep your joints nice and healthy. Now I'm coming from the back, forwards, back, forwards, back, forwards here. The next part of this, guys, I really want to work a pelvic tilt. I'm not sliding my hips in any direction. What I'm doing is I'm lengthening one leg and bending the other leg. And it's almost like there's somebody next to me and I'm just going to give them a bump. So check that out nice and slowly. This hip joint comes higher, this one drops. And now from here, come back to the middle, and then this one extends out and this one drops again. So 1, 2, 3. Okay? It's almost like you're bumping someone to one side, bumping someone on the other side. Even when you're doing a hip throw, when you have somebody have an overhook, have their hands at their hip, the right side of your pelvis here is the one that comes out. And this is how you create the hip throw. So, in a way, you're also practicing your jiu-jitsu too. The next part of this, guys, what you want to do, okay, is bring your hips forward and backwards. So one way we like to guide this is thinking about where your tailbone is at. Okay, imagine your tailbone's really long and it's connected to a tail. I guess like millions of years ago when humans had a tail, you can imagine that. You had that, but now you can imagine it, okay? So tailbone is going to direct towards your toes, and what that means is your butt kind of hides. And then from here, when your tailbone rolls out towards the wall behind you, your butt extends out. Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. So here, forwards and backwards. I'm still keeping a length in my spine. That's really important. I'm also being very, very mindful of my weight over my feet too. I don't want to come in here and kind of fall over myself. I really want to maintain this a good relationship with gravity, meaning that I'm in control of my own body. And if gravity is pulling me this way, then I'm not going to be in control of myself. So we've come right, left, forwards, backwards. What are we going to do now? We're going to put them all together. Right, forwards, left, backwards. Right, forwards, left, backwards. Left, right, left, forwards, right, backwards. Left, forwards, right, backwards. So what's happening now is I'm making circles only with my pelvis. I'm not bringing my pelvis around my base of support, okay? I'm moving it within my base of support. Boom, forward, left, back. This is something for you guys to play with, guys. And again, you really want to start this movement nice and slow, okay? I've been doing this for a while, I've been practicing, and I feel like I found some nice fluidity in this. When I first started, it was super clunky, okay? So that's fine. If you haven't done it before, it will be clunky for you. But one thing to really think about is make the movement as small as possible, okay? Just really like as small as you can do it, okay? Forwards and backwards, and then maybe just a small movement right and a small movement left. If you minimize the distance and the range of these movements, they'll start to get easier. And when you make them easier and you get better at the easy level, then you can start to build on that easy level and make them more and more and more harder without them being harder for yourself. This is one way to start, and this is one way to progress. Just like the way we're doing this movement is how you progress with a lot of things, okay? You start where you can, and then eventually that will help you build naturally. Something to think about. Pelvic mobility ought to be core to, excuse the pun, but it ought to be, it's core to everything that we do. So if your hips are free, if you can move your hips, then you can move your whole body. That's what we're playing with today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Awesome.